This is Riksgränsen in the Arctic north of Sweden. It's a ski area that only opens in February because before that there is little or no daylight. But in October of 2015, the resort's hotel opened its doors not to skiers, but to refugees. It was a temporary solution for a country overwhelmed by the arrival of 164,000 refugees in just a few months. With not enough centers to accommodate them all, Riksgränsen took in some 600 refugees, mostly from Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, and even some from Eritrea. And last January, Euronews met with some of these people who had come to Sweden in search of a safe haven. One of them was this man, 29-year-old Mokdad Ayad Al Jobri, who had fled Iraq.
The conditions there were awful. Killings, massacres, attacks. But the most difficult moment was when I left my children and my family. It was very hard.
Mokdad had made the perilous journey from Turkey to Greece and then through Europe until he reached Sweden in October of 2015. His wife and children, aged 3 and 5, stayed in Baghdad. Mokdad said he hoped to be granted asylum.
For starters, I need to get my resident permit and then bring my relatives, my children and my family here and look for a job.
But that was then and this is now. Almost 1 year later, we're back in Sweden. Not in the far north this time, but in the south. When we first met Mokdad almost a year ago in the north of Sweden, he was hoping to be reunited with his wife and 2 children. We wanted to find out what happened to him since then, and we found him in this refugee center about a 2-hour drive from Stockholm. Since we're not allowed to film inside, we asked him to come out and tell us about his life since he's been here. Mokdad arrived here in the end of January 2016. His friend Sameh, who's Syrian, helped translate. Mokdad doesn't speak English or Swedish. They think the reason we were not allowed inside is because last year the center was overcrowded. Some 600 refugees in a place that had room only for half that number. They say the conditions are better now. But how did Mokdad end up here?
The work contract we had with the hotel was a temporary one. When it ended, they redistributed us throughout Sweden. Some went to the north, others to the south, and others to the west, because when the ski season started, they had to leave the hotel.
Are you disappointed that you're here at the center?
I am disappointed about my residence permit because maybe I won't get it at all. Here at the center, the food is pretty good. It's okay.
For Mokdad, these past months have been anything but happy.
Happy? What's there to be happy about? My family and my children are far away. It's true, I'm safe here, but that's not the case for my family and children.
Without a resident permit, Mokdad has little access to language classes and job training. He and his friends say they spend most of their day either inside, talking to family back home, or walking around the town center. And of course, with the question ever looming, why does it take so long? Arito de Gavro is a lawyer who specializes in asylum seekers' rights. He says the sheer number of refugees that arrived since the summer of 2015 is the main reason for these delays. Refugees like Mokdad need to be appointed a lawyer, then granted an interview with the Immigration Board.
So from around 4,000 each month.
A decision after that can take months or even longer. And of course, it depends on where the refugees come from.
Baghdad is very complicated because right now the Immigration Board is consider Baghdad as relatively safe, but it's not, according to human rights organizations and so who have made many reports regarding Baghdad. But Baghdad is relatively safe, according to the Immigration Board.
Sweden has tightened its asylum laws since last year. Refugee visas must be reviewed every 3 years, some every 13 months. This wasn't the case before. And refugees from so-called safe countries face deportation. Back with Mokdad, we look at the report made last January in Riksgränsen, a place where most refugees saw snow for the first time.
Nice family?
Nice family.
For Mokdad, his time up north is filled with good memories, and he's kept in touch with some of his fellow refugees. The Syrian interviewed in this report lives in the north with his wife and baby. They have their residency permit. And Ali, another Iraqi, lives in the center of Sweden. His residency status is also still pending.
والله حبيت يعني
When I worked in the kitchen, I was very motivated, and I thought they would keep me. But they transferred us. I don't know what happened.
بعد ما أعرف جت من النقلة نقلونا وبعد ما بعرف شو صار.
What still gives you hope?
ما في أمل. ما في.
I don't have any hope or motivation, because it's been 1 year and 2 months that I've been waiting for an interview. And even if I get one, how much time before they make a decision? A year? 7 months? 6 months? Who knows?
Mokdad will most likely have an interview in January. But even if he gets his resident permit, there's another long process, that of family reunification. The waiting is getting harder.
There is a law in Sweden, in the Aliens Act, who said that if you work at least 4 months during the asylum process in the same company, and you will get a contract which is at least 1 year and forward, and your salary is okay, then you have the possibility to apply for work permit, even if you will get your asylum application rejected. But if you can't English, if you cannot speak Swedish, it will be very difficult for you to find a work. And for those who can't those 2 languages, they will often find themselves just sitting and waiting.